Hi there people, how's it going? I'm just driving down the Lewis Pass, driving south towards Christchurch, and it's the most beautiful part of the world. Much like British Columbia in Canada, actually. It's hard to tell the difference if anyone's been there. I did many years ago. What's this video about? This video is about, well, the elephant in the room that the vast majority of Kiwis don't want to talk about because it's the uncomfortable truth. And that's the Maorification of everything in New Zealand being driven by radical extremist elite and very, very well-heeled Maori and the media machine who cover for them, and they will attack anybody who criticizes them, and they will brand anyone who does that as a far-right white supremacist, wrecking their lives as good as. They've done it to many people, including myself. And, you know, sometimes I ask myself, was it all worth it? But you got to stand in your own truth, you know, and I do. Some hitchhikers here, there's 3 of them. I can't pick them up. I would have otherwise. But yeah, New Zealand is a country, I would say, a country in fear. No one is going to protest in the streets about EB screwing this country over, shaking this country down, shaking the government, successive governments, Labour and National, for billions. Well over 100 billion. Somewhere between 100 and 200 billion. They're worth now. They've shut down this country for decades. Iwi worth more than the national debt. Would you believe that? And they've all done it based on fabrication and lies, and using white, obsequious, sycophantic top lawyers who've made fortunes, absolute fortunes, Chris Finlayson, for themselves. It's incredible. And I believe that's why New Zealand is such a very expensive place to live. Everything's dead expensive because it's been a massive transfer of wealth to these elites. And the lowly Maori, obviously the Maori in the street don't look much, well, not look much like me, but, you know, on the same level. They get bugger all. Well, when I say they get bugger all, they get special benefits. They get privileges. Privileges that radical extremist Maori claim I get, and people that look like me get, which is not true. It's a complete falsehood. But these elites give these lowly Maori just enough crumbs, and they are crumbs, to keep them on side. When I talk about this stuff, I get so many people in the comments just saying racist, 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 which is just a Marxist communist ploy to shut people down and demoralise them and make them walk away because it's, you know, is it all worth it? That's what they do. And I have felt like walking away many times. In fact, I have done for quite a while. But not anymore. More and more people are waking up to what I've been saying for quite a few years now. I've been a YouTuber now, I don't know, 6, maybe 7 years, I don't know. And I've spoken about this many times. And people that were off with me at first are now totally in agreement with things that I said then, and certainly what I'm saying now. These radical extremist elite, part Maori, and they are only part Maori, very little Maori in them. They've all, every single one of them without exception, I've got more European in them, mostly British, than from what they have Maori. But because they've got a bit of Maori in them, they get elevated to incredible positions and screw this country. They screw it. And there's nothing, it seems, we can do without bringing the whole system down on top of us. It's an incredible thing. And to stand up, like I'm doing right now in this video, and I have done many times before, at great risk to myself, and say the uncomfortable truths. The elephant in the room brings great risk. It's not fair, it's not right. Not in a so-called free country. The media is a huge problem here, a huge problem. Maori are taking over everything because they are so rich now. And they pay people off. They own, I would say they own the media. They own politicians. They have the best lawyers. They can afford the best lawyers. And it's never going to go away. Never. Because the government keep handing over, every few years, hundreds of millions to each tribe. Once one tribe gets some, all the others have to get a top up too. All in the hundreds of millions. It's incredible. And for nothing. In 2010, John Key, what an absolute treacherous human being he was. He sent Peter Sharples and an entourage of Maori extremists to New York, to the United Nations, to sign the United Nations Rights of Indigenous Peoples. So Maori, from that point on, became indigenous to New Zealand, but they're not indigenous to New Zealand. They came here around about 1250, somewhere in the middle of the 13th century. They came here. But now they're indigenous. And whoever was here before Maori, they were genocided by Maori. But these, again, are uncomfortable truths. That Maori have had the right, over the past few decades, to rewrite history and write a different history to suit themselves. It's incredible. Maori came here from Hawaii or Hawakia, wherever that is. They don't even know where it is, but that's where they came from apparently. No one knows where it is. Somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. And they brutalised this country. They brutalised each other. Any slight of chiefs forced one side to genocide and cannibalise the other. That's how they lived. That's what they did. They genocided and cannibalised each other. And they would have, if it wasn't for the British, they would have genocided themselves into oblivion. And they would have become extinct if it wasn't for the British, who stopped it all. And they've been complaining ever since. That's another uncomfortable truth. And you listen to Willie Jackson and JT and Halfwiti Waititi and Debbie Packer, who's Irish, and all the rest. The way they talk, and everyone's racist. Everyone. That's all they got. That's all they ever have, is that everyone's racist. Whoever criticises them, whoever calls them out. And to be called racist in New Zealand is a big deal, a real big deal. Because when they say it so much and get all their followers to say it, call people names, racist, 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 over and over and over again. It's like telling the world's biggest lie. The more you say it, the more people believe it. And that's exactly the way they're working it. The Marxist, communist way of bringing anyone down. So yeah, am I still in the game? To a certain extent, yeah. I make these videos and hopefully wake people up. I don't know if they do. It seems to turn even more people against me, but I don't. I do it anyway. Because it's not my truth. It is the truth. The truth is the truth. And it's truth they don't want you to know about. If there's any young people watching this, Kiwis, white Kiwis, or non-Maori Kiwis, remember this is your future. You are going to be a second and third class citizen in your country. Because if you've got friends who have just got a little ditty bit of Maori in them, they will get all the benefits of everything. And you will just get the crumbs or zero. But remember, it's you who are privileged. It'll always be you who are privileged. According to Willie Jackson, JT, and Halfwiti Waititi. Anyway, that's my video. Hope you liked it. Please like, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, give me an uptick if you agree, and share this video everywhere. Okay, see you later.